Hey guys, today I'm going to be taking a look at Netrunner, their rolling release model, Netrunner. Netrunner comes in two editions. They have a Debian-based edition that is a static release, and they have a rolling release that is based on Manjaro. So I'm going to take a look at their rolling release version that's based on Manjaro. This is Netrunner Rolling 2018.01. I've already pulled down the ISO. The ISO was pretty large. It was 2.3 gigabytes in size, which makes sense. It has the KDE desktop, the full KDE desktop environment on it. And it also includes a lot of extra proprietary stuff, you know, all your drivers and codecs and things like that. According to the Netrunner Distro Watch page, Netrunner features a highly customized KDE desktop environment with extra applications, multimedia codecs, Flash, Java plugins, and a unique look and feel. So I'm pretty excited about taking a look at Netrunner. I've actually never installed this Linux distro before, so it'll be a first for me. Alright, so I've loaded this up in a virtual machine, and we have our boot menu here. Looks like we have options to go ahead and set our clock, time zone, key table, language, drivers. All of this looks good. I'm good with the time zone, keyboard US, language, English US, all that's correct. Driver, we're using the free drivers by default. I'm going to go ahead and set that to the non-free drivers, you know, the proprietary, the third-party drivers. Then I'm going to go ahead and boot into the live environment. And it may take a second to boot us into the live environment. Notice we have some Spectre mitigation there that loaded up. And the live environment has finally loaded up. Took a couple of minutes there for this to load. A really nice looking live environment. Again, this is the KDE desktop, a very customized KDE desktop. Pretty cool little menu they've got going on here. Anyway, I'm not going to review the live environment. Let me go ahead and install Netrunner Rolling. And of course, it uses the very familiar Calamares installer. So, language's already been chosen, English US for me, so no need for me to do anything there. It's correctly chosen the central time zone in the US for me. No need to do anything there. It's correctly chosen English US for my keyboard. I can test this out just to make sure, you know, everything is working correctly on my keyboard. Everything's good. Partitioning. I'm going to choose erase disk and let Netrunner have the entire 15 gig hard drive of this virtual machine. If you want to do manual partitioning, you do have that option. That's useful if you're dual booting with another operating system or setting up a separate home partition or anything like that. I'm just going to choose the first option and let Netrunner automatically set up the partitions. Need to create a user, pass, log in automatically without asking for a password is not ticked on. I'm going to leave that not ticked on. Use the same password for the administrator account. I will leave that ticked on, so my home user and my root user share the same password. Saves me from having to remember two different passwords. Alright, our summary, everything looks good. I'm just going to click Next. The Netrunner installer is about to make changes to your disk in order to install Netrunner Rolling. You will not be able to undo these changes. I'm going to click Install now, and the installation begins. Probably take 5 to 10 minutes to install. And that installation went pretty quick, under 10 minutes. In the Calamares installer, when you're done installing an operating system, you have to go down here in the bottom left and click Restart Now, and then click Done, and it will reboot your machine. That's what I'm going to do right now. Alright, and I'm rebooting my freshly installed Netrunner Rolling. Some very large font there in the boot screen. And we'll check out boot time here. Okay, boot time was pretty fast. Maybe about 10 seconds to get to the login manager here. Let me type in my password. And we are in our desktop environment. Again, this is the KDE desktop environment, but it's a very customized KDE. They're adding a lot of their own flavor to it, if you will. I'm going to quickly go through the applications that are installed by default here in Netrunner Rolling release. So I'm going to launch the menu here. And this menu system, I'm not very familiar with this particular KDE menu system, but it looks pretty straightforward. We have these categories on the right side here, recent applications, recent documents. Of course, we haven't ever launched anything. This is the very first time we're running Netrunner, so these are empty. All applications, lists all applications, alphabetical order. But I'm going to go through them categorized in the normal fashion. Games. Games. We have actually quite a few games here in Netrunner Rolling. Burger Space, Chess, Frozen Bubble, GL-Tron, K-Breakout, K-Mahjong, K-Mines, K-Snake Duel. We have the Steam client, and we have Sudoku. So, and a lot of these games I've actually played before. Some of these are pretty fun little games. Frozen Bubble and GL-Tron in particular are pretty cool. Graphics. We have GIMP installed by default. We have GwenView as our image viewer. This is the default image viewer in KDE. We have Inkscape. We have Krita, and we have Scanlight for our scanning utilities. Internet. Firefox is, of course, our default browser, and it looks like it's using Firefox Quantum 57.0.4. Also under Internet, we have KDE Marble. KDE Marble, I believe, is a map program. Let me launch that. Yeah, it's using OpenStreetMap, so pretty cool. Let's see if we can... Oh, yeah. Very nice mapping program, actually. Also under Internet, we have Pigeon Internet Messenger. We have Q Transmission. We have Skype. Transmission, by the way, is the BitTorrent client. We have Skype installed by default. Thunderbird is our email client, and X11 VNC server. This is for, doing remote desktop stuff. Multimedia. We have the Audacious music player. Audacious is a nice, minimal music player. Almost Winamp-like, for those that remember the old Winamp program in Windows. Matter of fact, I believe Audacious takes some of the theming and stuff from Winamp. You can use Winamp themes in Audacious, I believe. We also have G-Music Browser. G-Music Browser is another audio player. It's a nice audio player. I've actually used it a lot. Kind of reminiscent of Rhythmbox. Lighter in weight and less functionality than Rhythmbox, though. But it's still a great music player. And under multimedia, we also have Handbrake, which is a multimedia transcoder, a video transcoder. Never actually used Handbrake, but it's a very popular program. Notice, the multimedia category here is loaded down with some good stuff. I mean, everything in here. Komoso is a really nice webcam application. Kdenlive is a fantastic video editor. Maybe the best free and open source video editor we have. We actually have quite a few really good free and open source video editors in Linux, though. This is Kdenlive version 17.12.1. Also under multimedia, we have Pulse Audio Volume Control. We have the SM Player for our video player. Voco Screen, another webcam app, can be used to stream too. And Yarok. I'm not sure what Yarok is. Let me open this one. Okay, set up your music collection. So it's another audio player. So 3 music players installed by default. Under Office, we have Libreoffice Calc, Impress, and Writer. It's not the full Libreoffice suite, but these are, the ones most people are going to use. The word processor, the presentation software, and the spreadsheet program. Let me open up the word processor, Libreoffice Writer. And it still looks like they're on LibreOffice 5 here. You have version 5.3.7.2.0. Under Settings, we have Grub Customization, Manjaro Notifications, and of course our System Settings, which is your standard Manjaro System Settings Manager. We may come back to that, play around with that later. Under System, we have Discover. Discover is our software center. Nice graphical way of discovering potential applications for install. I know most of the time I've actually gotten a lot of comments on my channel that I don't focus enough on like the GUI software centers, the GUI package managers, because I do so much stuff in the terminal. I just, install and remove everything from the terminal. And some of you guys have told me that I don't focus enough on these GUI package managers and software centers, so I need to try to do better on that. Dolphin is our file manager, of course, the default file manager in the KDE desktop environment. Dolphin is a fantastic file manager. And we have our info center, we have the KDE partition tool, we have our console. Console is the default terminal in the KDE desktop environment. We have KSysGuard, which is our graphical system monitor. So let's check out CPU and memory usage. I'm going to go over here to system load, and I gave this machine 2 cores of my 6-core CPU, and it's using, I don't know, probably somewhere around 10% of CPU. That's not too bad for KDE. KDE is not the lightest weight desktop environment. Memory, it's using 1.1 gigs of memory. I gave this machine about 6 gigs of memory. It's using 1.1 gigs. That's kind of heavy, but that's pretty normal for KDE as well. So we have our K-Wallet manager. We have network drives, Octopi. Now, Octopi is one of those graphical programs that I don't focus enough on because I don't typically use Octopi when I'm living in Arch and Manjaro and distributions like this. But this is our GUI package manager. For those of you that are familiar with Synaptic Package Manager and Debian and Ubuntu and all those distributions based on Debian and Ubuntu, Octopi is a very similar program in look and feel. You can search for a program and install and remove software, update your system all from this tool. Let's see what version of Octopi we have. Octopi 0.8.10. Also under System, we have Oracle VM VirtualBox is installed by default. Oh, that's great. And we have the Yakuaki. I'm not exactly sure if that's the way you pronounce it, but it's a drop-down terminal. Very popular drop-down terminal. And under the Utilities category, we'll quickly go over these. Arc is the zip, unzip archive manager tool for KDE. Kate is the default text editor in KDE. Kcalc is the calculator in KDE. Ocular is our photo program, our photo manager, another default KDE program. We also have Spectacle. Spectacle, I believe it is a screen recording tool, a screenshot tool, yeah. And then also under Utilities, we have the SUSE Studio Image Writer. That would be useful for writing images for like making live USBs and stuff like that. We have the Power Session. Lock, log out, switch user, reboot, shut down. They're all in that menu. Let's see what kind of wallpapers are installed in Netrunner Rolling 2018.01. Because the default wallpaper, it's kind of cool, but really, let's see what else they've got. And it looks like they include, of course, some of your standard KDE wallpapers, such as this one here that is pretty much included on every Plasma desktop. It's a neat little wallpaper here. And of course we got this one here with the Netrunner logo. That's actually a really nice wallpaper. I kind of like the dark blue. Let's see what else we have in our wallpapers. We got some nature photos. Kind of cool. Penguin. Certainly fits with Linux. And we got this. It's a very nice photo too. You know what? I'm just going to leave that one for now. And I'm going to open up the System Settings Manager and go down here to Plasma Tweaks. I'm going to go to Look and Feel and check out some of the themes that are installed. The default one is simply called Netrunner Rolling. They also have some of your default KDE themes, Oxygen, Breeze, and Breeze Dark. They also have the Adaptive theme installed. So I'm going to change over to the Breeze Dark theme. It's one I really like. Click Apply. Now let me open up the file manager, the Dolphin file manager again. Oh yeah, really love the Breeze dark theme. One of the best dark themes we have. I noticed the Adapta theme is broken when I click on the Adapta theme and click apply. The theme looks right, but whatever icon theme it was trying to go with, it's not working. So I'm actually going to go back to Breeze dark. What I normally go with anyway. I like the Breeze dark theme. Yeah, I'm just going to stick with that for theming. Let's see. We also have options for our theme for the widgets, desktop widgets. I never use them, but those of you that do, here's how you would do that. Desktop effects, this is where you would add all your stuff like your looking glass, magnifier, fade in, fade out, wobbly windows, stuff like that. I'm more of a minimalist, so I never turn a lot of this stuff on for sake of, CPU and memory, and especially in a VM, I never turn on a lot of these effects. Let's check out what kernel we're running. Should be a very recent kernel. This snapshot of Netrunner Rolling was released about 2 weeks ago, probably. 4.14.14-1, so very recent kernel. I could actually do a system update since, like I said, it's a week or two old, this particular snapshot. Matter of fact, I can do that on camera. I know some of you are going to complain, why is he doing this in the terminal? Why didn't he open up Octopi? I'll never learn. And there are 141 packages that need to be upgraded. So I'm just going to minimize that and let that run. So, what are my thoughts on Netrunner Rolling? Great, love it. Very much Manjaro with KDE. A very polished, professional-looking KDE desktop environment installed by default. The installer, the Calamari's installer, dead simple to run. It always gets an A. Netrunner Rolling, their KDE desktop, it gets an A too. I'm not a big fan of KDE, but I can get around in it. And this is a very attractive desktop, very nice theming. Even the default theming out of the box was very nice. Comes with a full suite of software, particular multimedia software. You guys know that I do a lot of multimedia stuff because of doing this YouTube channel. It had pretty much most of the software that I use on a daily basis already included on the ISO. Things like Kdenlive and Screen and GIMP and all that kind of stuff. Inkscape was also included. So for my very first time installing and taking a look at Netrunner, I'd never used it before. Thumbs up. Check it out, guys. Peace.